Happy Halloween, cinephiles. Oh, right. Sorry, I was trick-or-treating.
Trick-or-treat! Oh, why?
Anyway, DeadMedia here. Welcome back to Couch Kernels. Today is the last video for Spook Month, but I have another video coming right quick.
Media!
What, Phil? What is it?
Wanna know my favorite actor?
Who is it, Phil?
Matt Damon.
Fuck you, Phil. So, today's movie is The Scribbler. Told you we'd be talking about it soon. This movie is based on a graphic novel by Dan Schaffer. It has been released under two different independent comic banners. Freiheit has a copy of the Image Comics release edition, which came first, and my copy is a movie tie-in edition from One First Comics. I fucking hate tie-in editions.
Who frickety who?
Regardless, let's talk about today's criteria. Today's criteria are plot and writing, dialogue, acting, soundtrack, and effects.
What a shock.
Starting with plot and writing. The story here is that a woman named Suki, who has dissociative identity disorder resulting in her having 11 distinct personalities, moves into something of a halfway house for people with different than normal mental chemistry. While she's there, she's meant to continue the treatment she started in the mental health facility where she was previously staying. This treatment involves an experimental machine, a portable version of which she has with her when she moves into Juniper Tower, affectionately referred to by the residents as Jumper Tower. Anyway, the machine is essentially designed to direct an electrical current to targeted areas of her brain, burning away excess personalities. When she moves into the building, she is down to 9. The machine burns away extra personalities, but as Suki gets closer and closer to only 1, she begins to worry which is the real her. Suki, or the other strong personality that lives inside her, the titular Scribbler. Now the day Suki moves in, as she's walking up the sidewalk in fact, a resident hits the sidewalk in front of her. Suki wipes away some of the blood from her face and continues inside, where she meets the various residents and learns about many of their disorders. She also finds out that a male friend she knew from therapy is in the building as well. An all-female building. He claims it's because he checked the wrong box. Bullshit. After all of these introductions, Suki fires up the Siamese burn unit and burns out a personality. When she wakes up, though, she has lost quite a bit of time, during which the Scribbler has begun remaking the unit into something else. What it is, she doesn't know. Also in that time, another resident has taken a dive, but it's beginning to look like these dives aren't voluntary. Suki begins to worry. What if the Scribbler is killing the other tenants? Now, I really enjoy the concept here, and the film being written, at least in part, by the original writer of the comic was a good choice, and it keeps your interest. Definitely worth giving them a kernel here. As we decided previously, dialogue needs 4 memorable lines to receive a kernel, so let's get into what we have in this one. Some lines here are self-deprecating, others are deep or trying to be, and one sounds like something out of an action movie. The first big one is from Suki as she arrives at Juniper Tower, saying, "The good news is, if you get a key to the tower, it means you're getting better. You're still a social leper, but at least you're on the way up." The next is from a couple of Suki's doctors during one of the many flashbacks. The main doctor says, "We all live with duality every day. We're all a little yin and a little yang." To which another doctor, played by Kunal Nayyar, says, "What if Suki's yang is homicidal?" A bit later in the movie, a friend Suki has made in the tower, Cleo, tells her via a small song and dance in the hallway, "If you're losing your soul and you know it, then you still got soul to lose." And finally, at the beginning of the climactic fight scene, the doctor has called emergency services, and they ask over the phone, "Hello, emergency, which service do you require?" And the villain replies, having picked up the phone from the ground, "Better send them all."
Bring me everyone. What do you mean everyone?
So we actually have 4 memorable lines here. One or two of them aren't as deep as they think they are, but they are memorable, and that's what counts, so we're actually giving the dialogue here a kernel. As for the acting, everyone puts in solid performances here, from Katie Cassidy as Suki, to Garrett Dillahunt as Hogan, to Michelle Trachtenberg as Alice. You can see the fear on Suki's face at several points, ranging from "what if I killed them" to "what will happen when the doctor sees the machine." Hogan is appropriately sleazy, but also appropriately unhappy when some of his electronic devices make their way into the Scribbler's machine. And Alice is weird and cold, even when she's searching for her dog. For the solid performances by everyone here, let's give them a kernel. Now the soundtrack. The soundtrack has nothing particularly stand out about it, no named songs. The score does enough and is fairly effective, but there's just nothing here of note.
No pun intended.
Honestly, for a lot of the movie, I didn't really even notice the score. Until I actually started listening for it, I'm not even sure there was one present. It is a shame, but with the soundtrack leaving nothing to talk about, we won't be giving it a kernel. Finally, the effects. Most of the effects here revolve around the titular character of the Scribbler, but one situation involves Hogan. The Hogan moment looks fine enough, if a little silly. As for the moments with the Scribbler, anytime we see her eyes glowing, it looks off. It doesn't look right, which can take you out of the experience for a moment, but the rest of her effects, from standing on the side of the building to the moving ink on her body and the occasional bits where she talks through sentences appearing on her skin, don't look as silly or as janky.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
As it could. The effects work looks fine overall, which, considering this is an independent movie covering a partly supernatural concept, is impressive enough to earn them a kernel. Now let's tip out our bucket and see what we have. We have 4 kernels this time. I like this movie, and I think it got a bit of an unfair shake when it came out, with audiences and critics unfairly comparing it to other comic book movies at the time. Keep in mind this was 6 years into the MCU. Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy came out in 2014. When compared to those two, is it really any wonder that this independent film based on an independent comic got missed or saw the ire of those who did see it?
Shame.
Let's move on to Name That Frame.
My name is Jeff.
We're starting a new round this time, but first let's give the answer to our round from The Traveler and I Am Not a Serial Killer. The movie in those 2 videos was the original Candyman. Did you get it? Don't worry if you didn't, because if you look at my screen, we have a new still to start our next round. Do you know this one? Comment below. If you have any questions or ideas, or just want to say hi, I try to answer every comment. That's it for me this month though, but as I said earlier, I won't be gone long. There will be another video soon. Anyways,
Happy Halloween!